Hi, this is Chuang Ho Quang, a PhD candidate at Chalmers University and University of Gothenburg. In this video, I'm going to introduce Softagram, a tool for supporting developer in software comprehension tasks. This video is served as part of material for an ongoing experiment on software comprehension. Two demonstrations in this video is done in the context of academic license and is used for academic purpose only. If you want to use the content in this video for other purpose, please contact me at chuang8@chalmers.edu. Let's get started. Well, the screen you see for now is a starting screen of Softagram that show the structure views of canine male system. In this video, I will guide you through several things. Firstly, brief introductions about Softagram. Secondly, is the main visualizations and interaction mechanisms of Softagram. And lastly, I will introduce you with an example of how to use Softagram to help understanding a system in the context of a specific task. Softagram is created by a company named Softagram, which had a base in Norway, and Softagram claim for its usefulness for different stakeholders of a system, including developer, lead developer, managers, and new team members. For example, for new team member, it can help to cut half of the learning time required with the new course base, according to Softagram. So what's behind Softagram? Softagram is a tool that shows a structural views of a software system. Basically, it shows reverse engineering views of a software system. Yes, and based on that, it can provide a developer with views on different levels of abstractions, from the component views toward structural view with association between different components of the system. Now I will go into the main visualizations and interaction mechanisms of Softagrams. As you can see on the screen, it's the structural views of canine male applications. It contains different package of canine mail application. For example, fragment, controller, provider, mail store. You could see that the package are called or highlighted differently. It's because of that highlighting, that heat map views. There are different attributes that you could use to highlight the components of the system, but most of them here account with pull requests and difference in different versions of the system. So it is recommended for using in this log line of code in this experiment, because in this experiment we only take into account a snapshot of canine male source code. Yes, in terms of interactions, it providing normal zooming in, zooming out by scrolling out the source, the mouse. One of the strong points of Softagram is that it allows people, it allows user to go over the system in different levels of detail and abstractions. So for example, you can double click on a specific package and see what's inside the package, and you could see the structure of the package by looking into those bars. And within the, for example, within the controller package, you could see the message controller push receiver. You could see that messaging controllers class Java file. Under the Java file, you will see a class inside. If you want to increase the levels of detail in the class, so for example, to look into the method in detail, you could click on that button, increase detail levels. Or if you want to decrease level of detail, you could click on that button, decrease level of details. For that, it lists all the functions within the class. And by clicking on those bars, you can travel through different levels of package of K9 Mail. K9 Mail also not only show the components, it also show the association between the components, with those 5 buttons, you control how you want to see the associations between the components of a current view. So for example, in this view, I'm looking specifically into a class named messaging control commands, and I could choose the inbound views in order to see which class invoke to that specific class, and all those class that invoke to that message controller command will appear on the left side. Similarly, you could see the outbound views, which show the class where the message controller command class invoke to. For example, here you could see that the message controller commands class refer to that message controller class within this body of this class. Similarly, you could see both inbound and outbound view by click on that combinations button, so that you have a complete views of the incoming and outgoing traffic from that specific class. If you want to return the structure view, just click the structure view. When you are at association mode, it's allow you to change the layout. So for now, it's a left to right layout. You could choose as well the hierarchical or orthogonal layout. For example, this one. I choose left to right layout for my preference. Yeah. Yes. And that next, I want to introduce you to the search ability of K9 Mail. Searching is very important in order to reduce the views and to focus on the component you really want to take deeper look into. So there is a search view, a search box here where you can put the search string. Let's search source for something like email. It has something to do with the email, and so that all the email thing, all the class name, or the package name that had something to do with email will appear here. And based on this one, you could collapse one of the views if you don't care about those. I don't care about this one, so I just collapse it, the whole package, in order to just focus on the controller, for example. Yes, and you could also combine the search by using and or. Here I want to combine email with builder to see if there is any builder. Yes, perhaps there is a builder here, yeah? Inside the test. You can also use those two navigation buttons to navigate back to the previous or to the next views. Yeah. Next and last, I will give you an example of how to use Softagram to help in understanding a system with regard to a specific task. Firstly, I want to return to the default view. Yes. So let's say let's say you are the new developers and you have to quickly get to the page in order to do a maintenance task with regard to the email compose. What would you do? Looking into that view is kind of hopeless because there are too many options that you could go into, and it could take a lot of time for you to investigate those options. So you could reduce the relevant part by using the search box. So email compose, I could say compose. Then it's already reduced the compose the views a lot for me. I don't care about the test, so I keep it in collapse here. I don't care about the layout, so I will collapse this one. I only want to focus on the compose package here. Yeah, it could show me how a message is composed. So now I know it's not the email that I need to search, but they use message in order to indicate the email compose. So perhaps this one is the one that I should look into in order to understand how an email or a message is composed. Yes. That's a very simple example to demonstrate how to use Softagram in order to help you in your in comprehension task. And if you want to find some more example or demonstrations about use of Softagram, I suggest you to go to a YouTube video. There is another example on how to learn the code fast given by Softagram on YouTube. You can also see some demonstration and some showcase that Softagram offer here. Okay, that's conclude my video about Softagram. Thank you. See you in the experiment.